Hello guys, this is Max. Welcome to my channel. If it's the first time you're on this channel, I'm a massage therapist and an osteopath. I work in Barcelona, Spain, and this massage is a post-workout massage for my client. So I'm gonna teach you the best technique, mixing Thai massage, sport technique, deep tissue, osteopathic adjustment to give the best massage you can give to your partner, to your client, after a workout. So I start with the feet, and I start massaging the feet and the calf. As you can see, I go really deep into the tissue. I work in the tibialis posterior, the calf muscle, and you always want to find that sweet point between going really deep and almost create some kind of a therapeutic pain and some kind of pleasure. So we're starting with the calf, and we go all the way up into the ischio. You will see this is a technique that comes from Thai. It's called the elephant walk. It's done with straight arms, and you just go into the ischio tuberosity, and then all the way down into the insertion of the two hamstring, and down again into the calf, all the way into the ankle. It's really pleasurable. And then from there you can move and start working with some flexion and some pin and stretch into the hamstring. So I like to change angle so that I have a better momentum into the muscle, so that I can really stretch that tissue. Here you can see I'm start giving some work on even on the glutes, and then I opening up all the fascia in the plantar fascia. So the work on the hamstring doesn't have to be only standing. You can sit. For example, let's say that you have more than one massage a day. Let's say you have 4 or 5 massages a day. You start feeling tired. So you can sit and start just using your body weight to massage the hamstring. This is really helpful with people with a tight hamstring. Generally, people with reverse pelvic tilt, but even people with anterior pelvic tilt can benefit from this massage, because the hamstring, as we know, if they don't fire properly, they can create a lot of problem and they can get pulled. So for example, if the hamstring fire before the glutes, that can create a lot of problem. So you want the glutes to fire, then the hamstring, and then eventually the QL. So here you can see I'm pulling into the 6 deep rotators. You got to figure it out. There are like a 6 deep line where you can apply forces into the glutes. I like starting from the sacrotuberous ligament and going up into the glute medius. Glute medius, that people with anterior pelvic tilt find really, really tense. It's because the balance of the body is all in the front, and that can create a lot of tension in this muscle. Try to contract all the glutes to stabilize the rest of the trunk. I like this technique. Allow you to work on a protagonistic and antagonistic muscle in the same time. It's like when you are working out and you have a push and pull workout. You work one muscle and then the other. Here you massage one muscle and then the other. And sometimes you can do it in the same time. You got to feel always thinking that when you have a restriction, a fiber restriction, for example, in the hamstring, most of the time there is a restriction in the quad. Because if the hamstring is weak, the quad is gonna overwork. So I'm using some elbow into the glutes, Here I'm looking myself for some reason, I don't know why. I think it was a narcissistic moment, but yeah, I'm and I don't know, it seems like I was posing for Mr. Olympia. But so I am working on the 6 deep rotators, and you have another angle here. As I was saying, this that I'm pushing right now, that was the piriformis that is on top of the sciatic nerve. You don't want to smash it too much because you can create a lot of pain. And here you go all the way down, almost into a TFL. TFL, that is a tensor fascial lata, that can get really tense if the glute medius is weak. So all this information, it seems like normal. It's hard to take really in consideration when you work with client, because most of the time that's what the problem is. And here's some other way of massage the hamstring and the glutes. Of course, to do this technique, you have to have some kind of trust from your client. He or she has to really trust in you, because this position is kind of intimate. You have the thigh of your client on top of your thigh, and you're really close to the intimate part. But it's really helpful to give a sense of pushing and stretching all the fiber of the back chain. Here we are stretching the quad. So when you're stretching the quad, there is an increase in lumbar curve. So some people can suffer for that. So you have to find a way not to create too many problems when you're stretching the quad. And here, some stretching of iliopsoas. As I said, if you have a trust with your client, you can really create a great mix of sport and deep tissue massage. Here I have, I'm creating a great stretch in the front chain of the body. In the same time, I'm massaging the back, and that gives you a great advantage if you want to release all the muscle that create back pain. Here we have some, what in Thai massage is called dynamic Thai massage, but actually we know that this is coming from osteopathic training. So it's we know that when you give a rhythm that the central nervous system recognize with a certain tempo, the muscle tend to relax and tend to let go easier. So I always suggest, when you have a deep work, to use this gentle tempo rhythm that create a relaxation into the tissue. And then you can go all the way into the back, find that spot that hurts. I find that people with really weak glutes, they tend to have the first part of the thoracic really tight. So now we are stretching the chest. Another technique from Thai massage. Always pay attention on your grip. You don't want to stretch too much the skin in the arms. And you want to create, see, she should let it go. Yes, now she does. Let go of the face and try to relax into the stretch. And then, of course, you want to massage the opposite. So we are talking about the rhomboid, the trapezius medius, and down into the sacrum. Sacral work, important, super important, and amazing work to let that back pain and all that tension in the hips. We know all the forces that go into the hips, and we don't want that hips to be too stuck. We want the hips to be mobile. And a good work on the sacrum can create that opening that we need, that space, that release. And here, after the sacrum, you don't want to forget about the occiput. Sacrum and occiput always connected. And here finally we see a real great technique. It seems heavy. I mean, it could be heavy for a little person to be on top of of that person and pushing inside the muscle and into. So you can even manipulate the thoracic in this way. As you can see, I crack some T5, T4 in this position. Really great technique, because in the same time she will feel the hamstring let it go, because you're exactly on top of the ischial tuberosity. And then you work all the longissimus, all the mass tensor of the back, all the way up into the occiput. And when the muscle is completely released and relaxed, what do? You stretch the chest and create some kind of movement. A gentle movement like air and relaxation. I can tell that she's in love with the camera. She's a model. You can find her in Instagram. I put all the information down below, and you can find her in my Patreon. So if you want to follow my Patreon, go in the information description down below. From this position, if you see, when you move down, you got to watch out not to pay too much stress on the legs if you don't want to create pain in the body of your client. Then we start changing the game. So what are we doing? We're moving from a position of total relaxation to a position of to a yoga position. I was asking her to go into the child position from yoga, and here is a great way to work in a flexion, the extensor of the muscle, and going into the sacrum. I will ask the client to go down, because this is even better. As you see, we are rounding that sacral and that lumbar, so to have a different connection with the body. And we can stretch in one direction, the QL and all the extensor of the back. Really great. It feels so good, guys. And if you got to pay attention when you use the elbow, but it feels really good, because some people can stay for too long in the extension position. So in this flexion position, they can really feel the benefit of the massage, and finally let it go. I'm asking the client to go to the other side. In the same time, we're stretching the latissimus dorsi, we're stretching all the lateral sling, and allow me to go even deeper into in the QL and everything else. So now she's stretching the back. She's doing the classical. You see this millions of times. It's really helpful. These are movements that when you have back pain can be really helpful for and beneficial for back pain. As you can see in the thoracic, she has some kind of blockage there, and then we're gonna correct later in the middle thoracics. So I'm gonna ask the client to really have some self-awareness of all the vertebra. One by one, we're gonna ask her to use it. I used to do this when I was doing theater. It's amazing how theater exercise that are based on awareness of the body are so related to therapy, in physical therapy, for example. Here we go. See, that's the point where she was feeling more pain. And if you go back and you see the angle, you can see that point was really painful for her. You can see there was a stuck energy and stuck vertebra in there. Maybe it's muscle, maybe it's due to the breast. But what we got to do, we got to try to release and to give some movement in there. You can do it in different way. And then I'm asking if you can do it in flexion extension, we're gonna do it in rotation. Rotation allow you to go really deep into the rhomboid. And at the same time, you're stretching all the rotator cuff. Here we go. I feel very lucky to work with this model in my channel. I always say that if you respect women and you respect their body, you respect their saying, you will always have access to women and to their company. So it's so important, guys, that you start respecting women. You don't offend them and you treat them like queen. Or at least that's what I think. So every time I give a massage, the person I have in front of me, I'm their servant. I serve them to make them the best version of themselves, to make their muscle the best way they can perform, and to release all their pain and tension. That should be the only concern that you have. Doesn't matter how they look, doesn't matter how attractive they are, what you have to see. And that's, there is some meme around what you see when you are a physical trainer or a massage therapist. What you see is just the muscle and the bone that you're working on. That doesn't mean that I don't see the beauty I have in front of me, but it's important that you respect and you are with a professional eye, because when you work in that way, you will be rewarded and remunerated. Here we are opening all the tissues. We are doing some dynamic Thai massage, like I was saying, and spread the fiber, creating space, warm up the tissue, increase circulation. All this can help to release the trigger point that Ravel consider and that we call knots. Most of the time when you have a knots, there is a trigger point. And this way to work, for example, it's really helpful. It's come from Thai massage. It's using the glenohumeral joint and the scapulothoracic joint to, I don't even know if it's right, scapulothoracic? Yeah, I think it's scapulothoracic. To open up that rhomboid and that trapezius medius. So we are going back into the lumbar. Oh, this technique, guys. Every time I do this technique, you can see the client skin get like chicken skin. So it's like so pleasurable, so great that after you do all the work, I will always use that technique to finish my work. Here we see some other deep tissue technique into the trapezius medius and the rhomboid. As you can see, the tempo is super important. When you go really deep, you don't want to go fast. You want to go deep, but you want to apply some pressure. So guys, we're almost done. I hope you enjoy my video. If you want to see more of my massages, more creative massage, on my Patreon, I have, it's called Deep Tissue Lover. I have the description down below. I give massage to plus-size women in underwear. So guys, see you soon. Bye.